So I shared a couple scanners the other day, and I didn't really go into detail as how they work or what they do. So I'm gonna cover them a little bit more in detail, but still not as thorough as I might want to. But this might at least be considered like a crash course. Now, a stock scanner does exactly what the name says or name implies, which is it scans the stock market for different variables that you give it. And in this case, I'm using Thinkorswim to make my own. There are some premium services that try to pick, I guess you could say, the needles from the haystack for the day, and try to, you know, enable you to make money that way. I'm gonna load up the ones I shared the other day and use those as an example, and I'm gonna help you do two that you can build yourself and save them. So if you go over here into the top right, first of all, I'm under scan and stock hacker, it's what it's called. And I'm gonna go ahead and reset it to make sure, you know, yours should look like this if you reset it as well. And if you go into the top right area right here next to the little sizzle index button, the little flame icon, you load scan query, and the ones there's popular ones that they already have created. I rarely, like, almost never use them. I use them for intersects, but I don't actually use these scans by themselves. I shared a couple in the Discord the other day, so I'm gonna just show you what those examples look like. For example, if you do mentorship BB squeeze, and it already has custom parameters built in, and if you notice, it's showing me 19 of 19 of what meets the criteria for this scanner. I did not build this one, I just shared it. Sometimes I'll come and look at it. I'll come and look at it um, if there's a stock that's moving way too vertical or parabolic for me to explain what's going on. Sometimes I'll come over here and see if I can find out, and you can increase this to see how many stocks it lists if there's more than, 19 in this case. I'm gonna load another one for an example. I don't really use the dumb money scanner because it kind of is, you get too many results for it to be useful sometimes. Like, sometimes it's okay, but when the market is in a very volatile state and we have a lot of yellows and a lot of memery going about, you can try to look at where you think the money might be in, but and sometimes it does pick up very obvious ones, but I rarely, again, it's not really useful for the type of plays I've been making. If there's a stock that, maybe I'm trying to read a DD about, I'll come look on this list and try to avoid ones on this list sometimes, but besides that, I don't really use this one. Then if I go over here into overbought, I mean, it's overbought, It's overbought and due for possibly a bit of a drop. And if you go to the next one, same thing. It's oversold. Again, not all of this is like a guaranteed play. It's just trying to inform you of something interesting, and pick out needles out of certain haystacks, possibly for you. Unusual volume is one that people really like to use because it's similar to unusual whales. But if you notice, it's giving me 2,870 results. Now, yes, I can increase this and see more, but if I really want to narrow it down, this is where I add my own filter. And in this case, I'll choose stock, and I'll go to last because that's the price I want it to pull from. And for example, let's say I'm only interested in stocks between $2 and $150 per share. So that narrow it down. And then if I don't want that, let's say $100, and between 20, Maybe I don't want things that could possibly be penny stocks, 640, and so forth. If I want, I can add more parameters, or I can intersect it with anything I want. Like maybe I have a personal watch list. I can do it by industry if I only want to play, if I'm more comfortable in a certain industry. So that's an option. I'm gonna reset it real quick, and if we go back to, I'm gonna help you build your own, which is the ones I have here, because I don't want to just load it. I want to actually help you. If I went ahead and reset it because you don't want any of these to be filled with anything. You want them to be default. But the things I'm going to fill in is on this one, I'm going to put mark. And usually I'm looking between something between like 1 and I'm going to tell you what this one is. This is, it's a custom one. It's called pre-market gappers. And I want between $1 and $100. And on a volume I want, it's pre-market, so I want at least 5,000 up to no limit. And then I want a percent change of, let's call it 5. So this would be like a pre-market scanner for me. This is just a really simple one. And if I hit scan right now, I have 752, and the time that I'm running it at, I don't think I'd want to run it at this time. It's really for pre-market gappers. It really is. I don't like using the data that I get after market. I really specifically only want this for pre-market runners, I guess you could call them. Lately I've been playing it with over here in what's healthcare, and I usually select all healthcare. So pre-market gappers with healthcare, and I'll scan. It'll break it down to 164 instead of the 647 that I was using before. And then over here I can go browse, what's happening. Again, this is a bit of, I'm getting too much data right now because of the time that I'm running it at. I'd recommend a lot of these. Some of these might even not register any. If they're built for a certain hour, if the scanner is meant to be only used at a certain time, then it will return no, like it'll say nothing. And that actually might happen with the next one. So let's build the next one. So just to cover that again, I'll load it real quick. So that was pre-market gappers, 5,000 plus 5% on mark, volume, and percent change. And I put it at a max of 100. And then if you want to save it, you can go over here to save scan query. I'm going to go ahead and reset it, and we're going to build the last one. And this is, I call this one a pre-market low float, and that's generally what I'm scanning for at that time. And I want stocks between $1 and $20 roughly at that time, and a volume of, again, 5,000. And I go to shares, and I want 500,000 up to $1 million. And it probably won't. It's 2 for now. Again, this is when I run into pre-market low float. And this pre-market low float one, again, another one that goes well with intersecting with healthcare lately, But again, I think, see, it says no matching symbols. And again, this is specifically to me as a pre-market scanner. So again, I hope it helps, and if anybody has any questions or anything, let me know.